This is the flatter tomatoes that I had grown from seed. I'm going to replant the ones that are larger. These are giant of Seidelberg. It's a type of sauce tomato. It's definitely not a cherry. They're very, very large, but it's time to repot them. This is the larger plant that I just planted, giant tomato of Seidenbergen from Adapted Seeds. And this is one of them that I planted in its new pot. I'm going to add a little bit more soil on top because you can plant tomatoes deeper. They will root along the top and it'll make them stronger. And since this one also has true leaves, we're going to add some fertilizer, just a very diluted dose of fertilizer. I have Thrive that I've been using. It does have a fishy odor. It's a fish emulsion, but it works very well and it is organic. Time to move on to the next one. These are my seedlings, March 18th, 2019. I have a bunch of different trays. These are mostly tomatoes, a couple of tomatillo in the same tray. It's time to repot some of them. This one we're going to repot today. These are brassicas, pak choi, broccoli, and they're definitely too large for their containers. This tray should have been repotted a while back. The seedlings should have been thinned out. The only ones that are okay are these red pak choi. There is one seedling per square. The other ones, these have one seedling per square, but they've gotten way too big for these pots. I'm going to repot these today, and we'll use potting soil instead of the seed starting mix. Let's see. I know. So, and these are a little forgiving. They can be planted a little bit deeper to give them a stronger stem. And we'll give them a good water. This is the same tray. I thinned out some of the plants. I'm going to add the tops to my salad. Tomorrow, after the freeze, hopefully the last freeze in the evening, I'll be able to put these out undercover in the garden. So I'm not going to replant these, even though they probably should be, or should have been, last week. We're going to plant some cold weather vegetables. I am preparing my soil. I added compost and I'm mixing that in. And I'm going to add some Espoma Biotone Starter Plus. And I'm going to mix that in. I'm not going to let the roots just hit all of this. I have to really stir it in. Make sure that the roots have a place to grow to. And then I'm going to add my plants. This is one of my red cabbage. And press it firmly into the ground so so it stays up straight. And I'll cover this with a row cover, to protect it from some bright sun. It's supposed to be cloudy for the next couple of days, but I'll leave it under the row cover, and even if it's down to 32, then the row cover should protect it. I'm continuing to plant my cold weather vegetables. I'm getting a little itchy. I need to get something in the ground. So I started putting these out and putting them under row cover. So far, no casualties, which I'm quite happy about. I still have a couple of weeks until my last frost date, and that is supposed to be not until April, and today is March 28th, I think. So I amended the soil with some organic Espoma Biotone Starter Plus. That's what it is. Look at the wormies. Can you see them? I'm sorry I disturbed you, but gotta get done. Gotta get done, right? So that's a sign of a healthy soil, they say, with these worms. This is some sort of broccoli. I think it's broccoli rabe. I had lots of broccoli rabe last year. My daughter and I enjoyed it with garlic and oil. So hopefully those will repeat this year and we'll have a beautiful crop. They went to seed last year and they had most beautiful yellow flowers, and the bees just loved them. So I didn't pull them up right away. I let the bees go to town, and I ended up getting a few seeds out of them, which I was quite happy about. These are a little root bound, and they should have been planted out a couple of weeks ago, but I'm glad I'm getting them out now. I know, I'm not being gentle. I'm so sorry. Well, I will cover these with the row cover to protect them from the cold, because we're still having 30-degree nights. But I'm looking forward to a great season. And unfortunately, I'm probably a little crazy and starting them too early, but I think my row cover is going to protect them. But I'll let you know how it goes. So I'm planting turnip. I amended the soil with compost, and I'm adding Espoma Biotone Starter Plus. Add a little bit of that in the hole and mix that in, and we'll water these in. It is still a little cold here. We're going to get down to 32 over the next couple of nights. It's March 28th. My last frost date is not until August 18th. April 18th. August. My goodness, I couldn't imagine. So it may be a little bit too cold for these guys. I'm going to cover everything with a row cover, and that should help prevent these guys from getting too cold. So far with my brassicas, they've not suffered any casualties. The row cover will also prevent these guys from getting scalded from the sun. Even though today it's overcast, it's really the perfect day to plant out. I don't have to worry about them getting burned. To make sure this is a little bit deeper, because he's a little, what is that word I'm looking for? He's a little spindly. So plant him deeper. So the spacing for these is about 5 inches apart, which I'm okay with. And they're not going to be big giant ones, maybe 4 inches, but I love turnip. It is fabulous roasted with Brussels sprouts, and I love my greens and my vegetables, so I'm looking forward to another season of wonderful vegetables. Maybe that's why I'm starting to plant them in the ground too early. I am just ahead of myself, but so far I've had really good luck with the row cover. Actually using tomato cages to prop up the row covers. It's too early to plant my tomatoes, so I won't even need them by the time these guys acclimate themselves to being outside, which is, I think, a good use of my row covers that I made with the it's just gate fencing, actually, that I cut and put in a circle. So the half circle will keep my my cold weather crops nice and cozy. So they are not supposed to be, turnips are not supposed to be planted indoors, so I'm hoping that these actually will grow. You have to be very careful with the root system, so they may or may not give me a nice little bulb, but I still have time to start again, and I could grow again in the fall if I don't get any luck. See you next time.